I would probably prefer papers to be practical, to be ones that assisted a practitioner, had interesting information. Of course, I have to accept that theory is important too, so if there was a very good theoretical paper, it might win the prize. I think that obviously it should say something new, but the danger of saying something new is that it's often wrong. So a good balance would need to be shown. I think it would need to show that the writer had read a lot of materials, not just Russian materials, of course, but materials from all parts of the world. I think it's very important for international lawyers to be successful that they obviously have to be good at English, but also French is still very important.
To first take into account existing international law, that is to say, they have to have a very good knowledge of the applicable rules of international law or positive international law. Then what is important is having a broad perspective, that is to say, they have to know case law. They have to know also the opinions of other scholars, and the fact of having the possibility to read different languages is very important. I highly appreciate when I have to correct PhD thesis or master thesis in which I see that the student was able to know and to read and to analyze case law and authors whose publications were in different languages. Then the third element is the critical analysis. That is to say, it must be not just the description of what international law is, but also a critical approach to it. The originality, that is to say, just not a collection of different views taken from other authors or from different courts or tribunals, but their own views. That is to say, there must be a working hypothesis, an explanation of this working hypothesis. That, in my view, would be an excellent paper.
Is that it develops some new ideas or sees things in an intelligent and modern or an original way. But there is no recipe for being original. The only recipe is try not to take everything you read for granted and try to think with your head. Well documented means that you have to justify with quotations from practice, from jurisprudence and from doctrine, whatever you say, and discuss those who say something different. Doesn't mean that you have to have long pages of quotation. This is not necessary and even makes reading heavy.
A very good research paper is not necessarily only a research paper. It's not only to compile case law, scholars' writings, and so on. What is very important to my mind for a good research paper is to have some new ideas, new elements, something that has not been already written. Not only what already exists, not a synthesis of what exists, but new ways of seeing things.